Hi, welcome back. Now you've picked your brokerage out. I kind of want to step back a minute and revisit the type of agent you can be. You can be a single agent where it's you on your own, but you're within the brokerage. You can be a partnership with a close friend, a spouse, whatever. That's how my husband and I are set up as a team with the two of us. Or you can be on a team and you have a lead agent who feeds you leads, but it comes at a cost. You'll have to, give part of your commission to them, and they give you a part. So that would be something you'd have to, do the numbers and see if it works for you. Another option was being a showing agent, and I see that a lot now, and it really is kind of a good way to get to know the business. You're working for a team, you're available to go show 123 Main Street, and they give you the listing. You make sure you know where the lockbox is, and off you go and you show the listing. Once you've shown the listing, you give the feedback back to the lead agent and they take it from there. So you're just basically, I hate to say this, but a keeper of the keys, and get the people in, get them excited about the property, go over what's on the listing agreement. You're not expected to do a whole lot of in-depth information about the building, but it's good to be ready in case they ask you a question, and then you take it back to the lead agent. And another route that we've had agents come through is being a closing coordinator, where you are very good at paperwork and you can help an agent by keeping their office organized as far as paperwork to make sure everyone gets paid. And then you can, once you get comfortable with that and listen to your lead agent talking, then you can graduate back up into being an agent and going out on your own. So it's kind of up to you which way you want to go. I do have some notes to make sure. I want to start off a little with our story. And it's also a second, third career for us. We came to Florida in our 50s. We knew no one. We bought a home. We've always loved the beach, wanted to live at the beach. We came down. So we decided we wanted to do real estate. Well, I was really nervous about taking the test. I felt I had a little test anxiety. And so I took a couple of courses at the local college to kind of get my wheels greased a little in the learning sector, and to kind of, get used to test taking and that kind of thing. And I did great. I was like, oh, this is a piece of cake. So I did do the in-person class. Well, I passed my test, and my husband passed his test, and we were ready to do real estate. We joined at KW. There was lots of great training, and now there's a lot of great training at all the brokerages. So don't let that be a guiding post as far as which way to go. Look at what they have for you. We took all the training. I mean, we were there every day learning everything we could learn about real estate. And we were ready to do some business. So not having a sphere of influence, meaning people around you that love you and know you and want you to help them find their place, we had to think a little out of the box. And so my husband, who is very shy, started calling FSBOs, which are for sale by owners. We called expired, we called withdrawns, and he did that every day, Monday through Friday, for 2 hours to 3 hours a day doing that. Now at the time we had 2 beagles, so I would walk the neighborhood 2 or 3 times a day, just looking at the houses in our neighborhood. And I thought, we'll do farming, which means, working the area you live in. There was about 130 homes, so we decided to do farming. And so people only knew us as the couple with the 2 beagles. So it took about a year for them to realize we were the real estate agents with the 2 beagles. But we did farming, and we religiously every month did a little newsletter. We just took statistics, we took neighborhood information, we put a little fun fact about the area in there, or a restaurant we had tried, because everything was new to us. And then every month we walked that neighborhood and we put out, they call them chicken bags. It's a plastic bag like your newspaper used to come in. It hangs on the doorknob with our little newsletter in it. And once a year we did a magnet, calendar magnet for the refrigerator. And it was a thrill to kind of go in someone's house and see your magnet stuck on the refrigerator. But we did that. We did door knocking on the FSBOs for sale by owners, and the expireds. I mean, it was a little nerve-wracking because, I'm a salesperson, but I'm not a good person of, out of the gate trying to sell you something. So it takes me a minute to warm up. But lo and behold, we got a listing out of it, and we were so excited. It took about 90 days to get our first listing and our first sale. It was $121,000, and that check was just precious to us, and we were so excited. So don't give up. It happens out there. So if you happen to know a lot of friends and family and can get a really good boost out of them, that's great. Just be careful. It's hard dealing with friends and family because they expect a lot, and you're new, so just kind of be careful with the clients you take. Now you're very excited to go show property, and if someone happens to give you a lead and they say, can we go now and see 123 Main Street? Be careful, make sure you know them. We have a thing called does a background check on people. Make sure that you're quote unquote not a Pop-Tart, meaning that you talk to the person before you go. Find out what their intentions are. If they're there on vacation, you have nothing better to do because it's a rainy day, you know what? You might be a little too busy for that call. But you need to make sure that you do some checking with these people. And I always ask them, if this is the perfect house for you, how will you be planning on paying for it? And they go, oh, we got cash in the bank. You go, that's great. If they say, oh, we'll need a loan, the best thing to do is get a lender's letter so that we know that when we find the perfect home, you'll be ready to write that offer and we'll be ready to get to closing. So just, pay attention to who the person is that's calling you. Listen to what they're saying. Don't be too excited to show it. Make sure that it's a good spend of your time. Okay, we did door knocking. We bought leads. We did pay-per-click when we first got started, and it's expensive, but it's something that we decided as a family to budget for it. So pay-per-click is a route to go, but start with the other stuff first. My husband got one of our listings by going in the health food store, and the clerk was saying, I really want to sell my house, because Rich went in the door saying, you know what, I'm a real estate agent. So don't be a secret agent. Let everybody know you're a real estate agent, and then you can pick up some more leads that way. But it takes time. Don't get discouraged on that. One way we did find a good customer was an open house. We went and did open houses for other agents, but we picked the ones with the higher price point in the areas we'd like to be in. And we were so excited. We had our business cards and we went and sat in the house. Well, of course, the people were saying, how old's the roof? How old's the AC? How's the plumbing looking? Is it got a new panel box? And we were like deer in the headlights. We had no idea what they were talking about. So if you're doing open houses, find out the particulars on the house, because you need to try to help sell it. You're not just there to be a pretty face or to find a buyer, but you just need to know the roof, how old's the pool pump, or whatever some of the mechanics are in the house. And that way you can look at the tax records and say, oh, there is a permit pulled for a new pool pump, or there is a new permit pulled for windows and doors. You being in Florida, windows and doors are very important for us. Air conditioning, how old is it? Water heater, just some of the infrastructure stuff. Look at the panel box. If it looks like one from Moses, yes, it's an old panel box. And so you want to know this stuff. But, open houses was a really good one for us. We got our first international buyer and sell from an open house. So that's a lot of fun. I had to learn how to translate Hebrew, but he was a great guy and we were a lot of fun to work with. He swears by the end of our transaction that I could speak Hebrew. I couldn't, but at least I could, if I was looking at him face to face, I could figure out what he was saying. But it was a fun transaction. Working internationally is an interesting process, and so that's something good to learn. Always be learning. Always go to these classes. Always be looking at the houses you're going to. Look at it from a critical eye. What kind of appliances? What kind of flooring? What kind of countertops? Is that wall textured? Is the ceiling textured, or is it a flat ceiling? Just know your texture so that you can speak intellectually to these people that come through, because especially if you're doing luxury, they're expecting high end, and you have to know what high end means. I mean, I can go in there and find some high-end Kenmores and go, woo, love them. but they're looking for a wolf. So, you need to tailor your conversation with them, because, more than likely they're going to rip it all out and put in what they love. So, just know your textures, know your finishes, know your houses, know your locations, know your buildings, know the where the lock boxes might be hanging in a condo. We chose houses first, and I think we were a little short-sighted. I didn't trust myself that I could learn condos. Learn condos if that's what your area has most, and that's where the higher price point is for us here on the beach area, or the condos. And we have a long strip of condos along Sand Key, and my husband and I would ride up the road and call out the names of the buildings as we were going until I learned them. And I mean, there's a good 20 of them right along this one section. But people will get a listing in their MLS and they'll go, oh, I love that building, but what's that one to the right? That looks kind of interesting. So you want to be able to say, oh, that's the Grand. And how I remembered the Grand, because it had green windows, like money. But just find something that helps you know the area and you become the expert of the area. I can't say it enough to always be learning. Learning is so important in our business, and I still, after all these years, am learning. And I want to be educated. I want to be informative and help the people. I get calls all the time. How's the business down there? Are the beaches still in the bad shape? Are they still torn up from the hurricane? You go, nope, I was just over there and all the buildings look great. There are still a couple mom and pops that are, struggling over there, but the main buildings are doing great. Pools are open. We're open for business. Come on down. So thank you so much for watching our video. I hope it's helpful to you. If you have comments, please leave them in the comment section so that I can help you, and it'll help me make more videos for things that are important to y'all and what you would like to learn. Thanks again. Thank you for watching. If you're looking to be a better agent, or you're a new agent getting into the business, you might want to look at a couple of these new videos that we have that will help you on that process. I want to thank you for watching. If you liked what we're saying, please like and subscribe. Look forward to talking to you again.